What is going on, everybody? This is episode 615 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And yet again, we are dealing with another garbage ESPN ranking for the Atlanta Falcons. First and foremost, I want to tell you now, I am biased, but I'm also have some sense. I had to deal with this on a few occasions, and I had a couple people tell me, don't worry about it. It's the mainstream media. But no, I'm getting to the point now where this is getting stupid because they're not even looking at the fact that the moves that we made, and they still giving us these rankings that are below the 25, in some cases 20 out of 32 teams. I'm not saying that we're the best team in the league. I'm not saying that we are, we're going to the top right away. But compared to last year, I can give you 26 last year. But this year, we're way better than what we are slated on paper. And if we're going by last year and you're going to rank us at 26, it makes it even worse. And I'm going to explain. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. Check me out on the podcast side of things if you don't mind. Be your own program director. Subscribe over there. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube or Rumble side, I highly recommend you to subscribe to both channels or both avenues because sometimes one avenue don't work like the other. Hit the like button if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. I also can be found on Twitter at VFBaller. Also, my website is firstandframerates.com. All that information will be down in the description on the YouTube and Rumble side. So hopefully you guys will check all that good stuff out. Let's just get right into this. No, once again, I will not be putting a link to this article. It is on ESPN.com. You can go find it over there. But the reason why I don't want to give credence to this because I understand there's a lot of stuff going on where it is a lot of opinion based. But these people are, quote unquote, the worldwide leader in sports. They should know what teams have what and what they're up against their counterparts. And I strongly believe that the Falcons are not 26th in the league right now. To be fair, if you want to say 19, 23, anywhere around that range, I'll give you that. But 26 is basically saying that you're one of the worst teams in the league. And I'm sick and tired of this. They did this to us a couple years ago when we ended up going 7-10. They did it last year when they said that we was the worst roster in the league and we were supposed to go 2-15. We went 7-10. And now you mean to tell me with all these moves we've made, we are still one of the worst teams? And the teams that we have beaten last year are better than us? Like I said, if you're going to base this on last year, it makes it even worse because there's no reason that we beat a San Francisco 49ers team and they're ranked number 8. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? We went toe to toe with the Los Angeles Chargers last year, and we were literally like, let's say, a fumble recovery away from winning that game, and they're number 7. There's a huge gap between 8 and 7 and 26. When we clearly improve much more than what these other teams have. We had a ton of cap space and we made a lot of moves. We made some really good moves to the point where now you're starting to see like, okay, the Falcons look really good. And like I said, I know I'm biased, but I'm not blind at the same time. I understand that if you want to put this team around the 19, or the 23, 22 mark, 20th. I get that. I believe that's fair. I even think it's fair if you want to put them in the middle of the pack. Because you got to understand 7 and 10 was not that far off of being in the middle of the pack. It's just like a lot of other teams were so, mediocre at the same time. We ended up getting the 8th overall pick. But that doesn't, nevertheless, I'm going to look at the rest of this. I'm not even going to go down the whole list and who's what. But I'm just going to look at some teams that stand out like, okay, why is this team better than us? Now, like I said, 7 is the Chargers, 8 is the 49ers. We were close to beating the Chargers, and we beat the 49ers. Number 9 is the Cleveland Browns. Are you serious? I don't even care if Deshaun Watson is a quarterback. Dude looked like trash last year. You can make a case that Desmond Ridder actually looked better than Deshaun Watson, but let's not talk about that because, Desmond Ridder is supposed to be complete trash to some people, even in our own fan base, but that's another story for another day. We beat the Cleveland Browns. The New York Jets, we played them this year, but I can't remember. Did we play them last year? I think we played them the year before. But nevertheless, okay, you got Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I got that. Let's see. Baltimore Ravens is at number 11. We went toe-to-toe with them, even though it was close to the end of the season. The Seattle Seahawks is number 12. We beat the Seattle Seahawks. Come on now. Also, let's see. I see Pittsburgh, Jacksonville 15, Minnesota 16, Detroit Lions 17. Okay. I'm trying to keep going down. I don't see anything. The New Orleans Saints is 19. Come on now. There's no way that they're better than us. Not by, 7 teams? There's 7 teams ahead of us? And like, are you serious? This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. New Orleans Saints got they got a pretty decent quarterback in Derek Carr, but the rest of that team is just, they're okay. I think that if you talk about last year to this year, I believe the Saints were better than us, but now this year, I think we upgraded enough to be better than this team, especially after what happened the first game against New Orleans when we basically gave the game away. Thank you, Marcus Mariota. But, the second game wasn't, I think that was Desmond Ritter's first game. And I think we ended up losing that game, 19, or it was 21-18. It was something like that. It was another close game. So I don't believe this team, with all the moves we made, are 7 teams ahead of us. No, I don't even think the Saints are the best team in the division, let alone 7 teams ahead of us. Let's see, the Patriots 20. Let's see, Raiders. The Bears are 22nd. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to talk about that. The Bears is 4 teams ahead of us. Okay, whatever. Green Bay is 23 without Aaron Rodgers. They're 3 teams ahead of us, and they haven't even made the moves that we have. They got less. They lost their quarterback, and they're supposed to be better. Okay. Let's see, Washington Commanders. Now, once again, this is another team that we could have beat. We ran all through this team, and at the end of the game, we decided to let Marcus Mariota do his thing, and we ended up losing that game. They're two teams ahead of us, which I think that's fair if you're talking about just how many teams ahead. But them 24 and we 26, I don't know if these guys are 24, but I know we're definitely not 26. But they did beat us on the last play, so I do get that. The Panthers are 25. I don't understand this. I just don't understand. It's like, okay, the Panthers are better than. I will tell you this though. The Carolina Panthers have a really, really good defense, and if they can get Bryce Young to just not, make mistakes, they're going to be the biggest threat to us in the NFC South. I think I said this before when I did the whole series on all the teams we're playing. I am more scared of this team than any other team in the division. I ain't gonna say I have no respect for them, but I don't care for the Buccaneers too much. And honestly, I could say that the Saints they're not a better team than us. I just don't see that as well. So that leads us with the Panthers 25. We're at 26, obviously. And 27 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I just don't see. They got a good wide receiver core, but you don't have quarterback. Tom Brady's gone, and you got Kyle Trask or Baker Mayfield. I honestly believe Kyle Trask could take the starting job, and he may surprise people because he's more of an unknown. But I just don't see them being that much better than us. With them being behind us, I get it, but I still don't think that we should be 26. If anything, if you go back up here, I'm going to look at the rest of these. 27, 28 Tennessee, 29 Houston, okay. 30 is Indianapolis, and the Rams are 31, and Arizona 32. All right, whatever. All right, now, when you look at around where I said that we should be at, I think we should be anywhere between 19. You can make a case around 18 to 21 or 18 to 23. Now, look at this. If you go to number 18 right here, you got the Giants. Now, the Giants did surprise some people. You can make a case where we should not be above the Giants. The Giants actually did pretty good. I can get that. Saints have no business being at 19. The Patriots at 20. Yeah, okay, I can get that. 21, the Raiders, they lost their quarterback. They don't have a quarterback at all. Who was their quarterback? Garoppolo. I could see us switching places with the Raiders. They could be 26 and we could be 21. I could see that. even though they do have a pretty decent wide receivers. The Chicago Bears. Now, this is a definite. This should be the switch for real. We should be 22. The Bears should be 26. Because there's no way you're going to sit here and convince me that the Bears is better than the Falcons right now. That's just not. Don't we play them this year? I think we do play them this year, and I can't wait to play them to see how this plays out. Because my thing is the Falcons just need to sit here and show and prove. We need to show and prove. No, yeah, we played them in week 17. The Falcons just need to shut up and show and prove. And and I know they will. I think they'll be fine. I don't have too much of an issue with the team per se. Excuse me. But I will say this. It really is going to start with what Desmond Ridder does. I just got finished talking about him in this last episode where Desmond Ridder basically is starting to give me much more hope than I did before. This kid I think he's going to be better than advertised. And if he, does his thing, don't make mistakes, don't do anything out of the way, we're going to be a problem in the NFC. I don't see not much of big of a threat in the NFC. Aaron Rodgers is going to the AFC. There's not that much big quarterback play in the NFC. So basically what, Desmond Ridder has to do is just command his team and just go forward. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think 22, even though if it's 4 spots up, I'm taking it as a big deal because I feel like my team is much better. Like I said, you could make the case where them and the Saints could switch. The Saints could be 26 and the Falcons could be 19. You know what I'm saying? So I just think the Falcons, once again, they don't give us any love. They just don't. There's a few out there. Shout out to the guys at SI. They do a really good job of giving us some props. But when you really look at the whole situation with the mainstream media in general, they don't really look at the Falcons any way of anything beyond average. They really don't even want to give us that average stat, even though that Coach Arthur Smith basically outcoached himself. He's been way better than himself. And I'm not saying outcoach in a bad way. He's gone beyond of what I thought he could do. And he's probably surprised himself because of what he had with the personality he had. And you see what he's done. He was able to make, something out of nothing and basically have us in the hunt for a playoff spot the last 2 years. Just imagine with the team that he has now and what he can do. You got to understand, the projected starters with Ridder at quarterback, you got Bijan Robinson probably running back 1, which I kind of think that Tyler Algier is going to be in the mix. It's not going to necessarily be a prolific running back. Then you got Cordell Patterson. You got the 2 wide receivers on the outside, Hollins and Drake London. The 2 tight ends, Kyle Pitts and Jonnu Smith. You already know what the offensive line look like. And do I need to talk about the defensive line? The Grady Jarrett, Calais Campbell, Onyemata, and then you got the front 7 and you got the rest of the secondary. I think we're going to be way better than people are advertising. And one another person I want to see who step up big time. I want to see Jeff Okudah step up because he hasn't really lived up to the hype, the number 3 overall pick. But if he does along on the other side, AJ Terrell, with Jesse Bates, Mike Hughes, Richie Grant, you're going to have some other guys in the mix. It's going to be a no-fly zone. So my thing is, I just think that this is really, really it's a little upsetting sometimes seeing stuff like this because I really believe that it is not hard to see what your team is basically capable of doing, what these teams are basically capable of doing. You make all these moves and you're basically saying that this team is still on a treadmill and hasn't moved no further than what they did last year. But clearly the moves they made was a big upgrade, a big step. So let me know what you guys think. Am I crazy? Am I tripping? I don't know what I'm talking about. Am I let me know. Am I really tripping? Because this stuff like this really, I don't really like to get into this because it's all opinion and we already know how it is, but it makes me mad because it's getting to the point now that it's obvious that this team is better and they don't want to give them props. You know what I mean? If you like this commentary, like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think, man. Am I tripping? 26 is right where they should be. I think they should be at least 22nd where the Bears are, or definitely I think they should be 19 where the Saints are. I don't believe that this team is that far off from the Saints. And I think the Saints are an okay team, but they're not better than the Falcons. Not right now. Not on paper. Not based on what we did last year when we had some really close games with the mediocre quarterback, and the second game where we had a quarterback that was basically having his first start. I think things are going to be so much different this year. Even with the Saints, I think they're going to be a little bit better with Derek Carr. I'm not going to sit here and say that the team is completely trash, but I just don't believe that they're better than us. I don't. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble, also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. Find me on Twitter at VFBaller. Over there, I post stuff that don't really make it to the show. And the website is firstandframerates.com. Firstandframerates.com. You can check out the website, subscribe to the podcast. Also, if you want to donate and support the show, all that information is over there and it's down in the description. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Happy early Friday, everybody. Hopefully you guys will enjoy your weekend. I'm going to do my best to do that as well. Got some family coming over, so it's going to be pretty cool. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Peace.